Hey guys, what's up? We are back with another video today, and today we are doing an Indianapolis Colts mock draft. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Only 7% of you guys are subscribed, so help me out in my goal to 1,000 subscribers before the end of March. So hit that subscribe button down below. Like this video if you enjoy it. Comment all your thoughts and opinions down below. As always, let me know whether you think this is realistic, whether you don't like it, whether you do like it. Colts fans, what do you think about this mock draft? And what are your thoughts on the Bears trading the pick to the Carolina Panthers, now having two needy quarterback teams in front of you, as we will address the quarterback position in this here draft. So let's get started with today's video. At pick number 4 overall, I have the Colts selecting C.J. Stroud, the quarterback out of Ohio State. I find it highly unlikely that Stroud is here at number 4 because, well, I would be shocked that he made it that far. But if for some reason the Colts fall, or if the Panthers fall in love with Levis or Richardson, which wouldn't make sense because they traded up, but if they fall in love with one of two, or if the Texans do the same, maybe Stroud is able to fall, and maybe you're able to do that. But Stroud was available, so I decided to take him. So I think that is a good pick. I think it addresses the QB need, and I think that Stroud, in my opinion, if I had to pick a quarterback between Young and Stroud, I'm probably taking Stroud. I think Stroud is the better quarterback of the two. I think he has more tools, traits, and has the same amount of playing experience and stuff like that. I think that he is as developed as Bryce Young. I just think he has better traits and tools than Bryce Young does. At number 35 overall, I have the Colts selecting Antoine Harrison, the athletic tackle out of Oklahoma. He is also a technical physician, does a really good job at being able to get his hands out there and getting on much smaller edge rushers and being able to keep them in front of him, not losing the edge and stuff like that. He does a good job overall with his technique and being able to do that, even though he is a really big human being. And I think that does address the same positional need that the Colts have at needing a tackle, something that the Colts desperately could have used last year in order to have a much better season. I think Harrison fits the need of a left tackle. So heading on to pick number 79, I have the Colts selecting Adetomiwa Adebawore, the edge rusher out of Northwestern. And here's the thing to know about him. He may not be here at number 79, and to be honest, he probably won't be here at number 79 because he's been shooting up draft boards, and there's a possible chance that he goes in the first round, if not the high second round. Him and Kalijah Chancey have been the two guys that have risen up draft boards dramatically in the past couple of weeks, where they have really improved their draft stock through the combine, through Senior Bowl, and stuff like that. I think that this is another guy that, well, he won't be here at number 79. Or at least if he is, I would be absolutely shocked. At pick number 106, I have the Colts selecting Cedric Tillman, the wide receiver out of Tennessee. I think that Tillman does a really good job at being able to get open. Obviously, Jalen Hyatt was the one that had the really good year out of Tennessee, but a lot of people forget that Cedric Tillman going into the year was actually Tennessee's number 1 wide receiver. And even though he didn't end the year that way, he was still a really, really good wide receiver and should deserve a lot more praise than he got, and should not deserve the criticism that he's sometimes received with not being as highly talented or as highly respected as Jalen Hyatt is in the draft community. At pick number 140, I have the Colts selecting Jared Patterson to pair with another Golden Domer and Quentin Nelson. At pick number 140, I think that Patterson, I think, can fill that center position. Another position that the Colts need desperately is just helping out that offensive line. I think Patterson does a good job at being able to fulfill that role as a center. I think the addressing the offensive line is probably the biggest thing for the Colts this offseason, and I think can really help out the Colts going into next season is by addressing that offensive line, both through the center position and the tackle position. At pick number 164, I continue on by drafting Kei'Trell Clark, the cornerback out of Louisville. And even though I think that this is an underrated position of need, and Colts fans, let me know, what do you think is the biggest position of need for the Indianapolis Colts going into this offseason, whether it needs to be addressed in free agency or in the draft, or how do you think that the Colts can fill those positions of need? I think Clark would help a secondary that honestly just needs a lot of help, I think, in my opinion. You have a lot of guys that have played solid, and I think that Keichel Clark can add to the depth of the secondary. You have a great linebacking core, and you have a decent defensive line, but I think that depth in the secondary is something that's needed, and that is the reason for taking Keichel Clark. Excuse me. And now heading on to pick number 223, I have the Colts selecting Kobe Turner, the defensive lineman / defensive tackle out of Wake Forest. Really, the reason for drafting Kobe Turner was just simply to have him learn under DeForest Buckner. I think that if you're having him learn under DeForest Buckner, I think that really is going to help in being able to develop a guy like this who is a really good technician and has some athletic ability. He's not the most athletic person in the draft, but I think that he is a good learner, got his master's degree this past year, and I think can really do a good job at being able to learn if you give him the right teacher, and I think DeForest Buckner can be that for Kobe Turner. At pick number 238, the final pick in this mock draft, I have the Colts selecting Yaya Davey, the edge rusher out of Louisville. I think that Davey really does fit the role that he needs to in just adding extra depth to the defensive line. I don't think that the defensive line needs too much extra depth, but I think adding to that could be important in being able to add pass rush, because you can just never have enough pass rush. There's not a team in the NFL that could not use more pass rush, including the NFL sack leaders and the Eagles that had 70 sacks, but one of the reasons for losing the Super Bowl was they just couldn't get Patrick Mahomes down and sack him. So I think that that's important to be able to address there. And I think that they can do that by being able to address a position like that and by adding Adetowame Adebawore and adding Yaya Davey. So that's going to wrap up today's video, a little bit quicker of a mock draft. But make sure you hit the two videos down below. Hit the one of them will be the mock draft playlist. Another one will be a video that YouTube suggests for you, as well as hitting the subscribe button up here as we get closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. As always, have a great day. Bye, guys.